In Silent Hill 2, there's a scene where our main protagonist, James Sunderland, is faced with a truth he had subconsciously buried deep within the back of his mind, a reality hidden somewhere in his head that has been haunting him throughout the game. He inserts the videotape he found into the VHS player and watches as the truth unfolds.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Please promise you'll take me again, James.
This scene is a huge reveal. It's the scene where James is forced to acknowledge what he did and why he's here in Silent Hill in the first place. It repaints the narrative. We no longer see him as a mourning husband who is looking for his long-gone wife, but as a murderer. So what would you expect the background music to be at a scene of this magnitude? Is it sad? Horror? Maybe a mix of both? Well, the actual scene itself, it's this. It's an unexpected song to be played in a moment like this. For a plot twist this huge, you would expect a somber piano track or an ominous violin slowly descending. But instead what we got is essentially a rock song. The piano that opens the scene isn't sad or somber, it's catchy. The percussion comes in and the song almost sounds motivated. It's the kind of song you would expect to hear in a hero's journey or a badass moment. But at the same time, the intricacy of the piano notes start to sound like it's judging James and most importantly you. Your reaction to the truth of the story and how you've been viewing James throughout the game. It sounds malicious. Silent Hill 2 is a psychological survival horror game developed by Japanese video game publisher Konami and released with the Sony PlayStation 2 console in September of 2001. To say that it's one of the greatest games of all time is an understatement. Even to this day, there are still analyses and dissections of the game's theme and story elements. Many of Silent Hill's horror depends not only on what the game shows you, but also what it doesn't. In places where it does show you the visuals, it's a gory mess with grotesque body horror as a common theme. But the game doesn't show you the visual. It fills up your imagination with the music and sound designs. But for a horror game, many of its songs make the choice not to outright scare you or make you feel a specific emotion. They don't tell you to be scared or how to feel about what you're experiencing, but instead obscure the image, asking you to interpret it yourself based on which part of the instrument you listen to. At the start of the game, where you first see James stares into the mirror, his face obscured by the darkness highlighting only enough features to make the outline of a human's face. The track White Noise plays as he runs his hand over his contour. White Noise doesn't exactly tell you how to feel. It doesn't sound scary, sad, or happy, which would be out of place. It perfectly captured the moment as you, the player, are yet to have any idea of the game's narrative and how the story unfolds. It's uneasy enough to make you question James' arrival at Silent Hill despite knowing of his wife's death, but not enough for you to be suspicious of his intentions and who he is as a character. It's walking down the tightrope of ambiguity. The soundtrack of Silent Hill 2, composed by the legendary Akira Yamaoka, is quite unorthodox. If you had to somehow listen to it on its own, without any knowledge of the game, it sounds like an instrumental rock album with a tinge of emo-ness to it. Theme of Laura, for example, arguably the game's main theme, sounds like a song you would expect from an alternative rock band or a Nirvana album. Speaking of which, in the remake version of the song Love Song, the guitar solo literally sounds like Smells Like Teen Spirit. Anyways, back to Theme of Laura. The song starts off with an acoustic guitar strumming along to the background percussion. It sounds upbeat and bright, but with a hint of sadness, catching your curiosity. It's then followed by an electric guitar playing a few notes, dragging you along into its angsty and melancholic atmosphere, before totally descending into full distortion. The acoustic strums are now buried under the drums and the fuzzy lead guitar that throws the entire song into a melancholic fit. It sounds explosive, enraged, but also melancholic and pensive. It conveys an emotion you would not expect to feel in a horror game. And the funniest thing is, this song, Theme of Laura, technically never played during the actual game itself. The only way you'd hear this song is if you wait in the menu screen long enough or watch the trailer for Silent Hill 2. Another track I really like from Silent Hill 2 is one called Alone in the Town. Inspired by the theme song of David Lynch's Twin Peaks, the instrument convey a melancholic and surreal atmosphere. It sounds isolating, like the name of the song would suggest, but also at the same time invigorating. It's comfortable and familiar. Another detail I noticed with this soundtrack is that despite being named Alone in the Town, it played when most of the characters are in one place. The scene with Laura and Eddie at the bowling alley with Maria waiting outside comes to mind when I think of an example of this statement being true. It further adds to the dissonance of the narrative, making it seem as if James' loneliness is inherent, whether or not he is surrounded by others. I feel like a lot of Silent Hill 2's soundtracks are character-driven, and they act as a sort of window into the inner psyche of these characters. The songs often say things without using any words, spelling things out in whispers lost in the wind. The song No Moon plays during a scene where James finds a woman who he presumed to be his wife, but instead, it was a stranger named Maria who looks exactly like her. The song has this constant ominous yet seductive feeling, a dissonant sound that is covered up by a layer of beautiful piano and violin. It draws you in, like how James is drawn to Maria because of her resemblance to his wife. Even though he knows it's not her, it couldn't possibly be her, but he can't help but be tempted. If you've seen any video essays or commentaries about morbid facts or topics before, then you've probably heard this track many times. It's called Promise, Reprise. It's a somber piano track, but the intricacy of the piano notes are too exciting for it to sound sad, to descend into full despair. The song sounds like a last attempt at being tethered to sanity. It sounds weirdly optimistic and beautiful. It perfectly illustrates the character of Angela, a victim of abuse fighting her mental illnesses, and in her desperation to find solace, arrive at Silent Hill. It's like you can hear the tiredness in her eyes and her detachment and isolation. Throughout the entire game, she's the only character who has never met anyone else other than James. She's always afraid and alone. Silent Hill 2 is an introspective psychological horror game that focuses on the personal journeys of the characters, the trauma, sorrow, and grief. But when the game needs you to feel terrified, it knows how to. Besides the melancholic and somber tracks, there are songs within the game that genuinely makes me feel horrified. Silent Heaven instills a deep sense of dread within you. You're trying to compose yourself, breathe, but you can feel someone is watching you. Maybe from afar, maybe they're right behind you, breathing down your neck. You don't know for sure, but you can feel them. It's a soundtrack that induces paranoia. The song Blackberry sounds like total hopelessness, as if you're walking through forgotten memories and you can't seem to find your way out. It plays after James was forced to confront the truth. The world around him literally collapses as he makes his way through the hotel. The only word you can use to describe this feeling is delirium. It forces him to confront his guilt in such an intimate way, it feels as if you're sinking listening to it. Silent Hill 2 soundtracks are incredible. They're the perfect mix of beauty, sadness, and horror. It's the reason why many of my videos include at least one or two Silent Hill songs in the background, as they tend to say more things than I could with words alone. The mix of rock, experimental, hip-hop, and industrial sounds makes the soundtrack of Silent Hill 2 an emotional rollercoaster that can be considered as one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. I hope this video was informative or at the very least entertaining to you in some ways. And if you want more analysis from me, feel free to subscribe. It'll always help out. That's it for now. Thank you for watching and see ya.